back with Curtis. I'm gonna open it up. I wanna know if like his are better or mine is better. I don't know. All right, home inspection, West Ivy. Curtis in the house again today, and we wanna talk about the most important items on the home inspection. Not the most common that we talked about already, but the most important. Because buyers coming in really need to know, like, I feel like there's what, like 4 probably, right?
Exactly.
So talk to us.
Yeah, the most important, number one, is going to be moisture intrusion. So anything that's going to be moisture related is going to be always at the top of the list, because from moisture, you're going to build mold, you're going to get wood rot. From that, you'll also have drywall damage. So smells. You'll just have so many issues that just derive simply from unwanted moisture. So starting from the top, it would be the roof. So you really want to double check all the roof penetrations. So for every plumbing fixture, you'll have a vent pipe that goes through the roof. You want to make sure those have mastic around those penetrations, which is basically like a sealant. Those are areas where water will make its way in during rainy season, and then it may not show itself this season or next season, but eventually it's going to make its way into the house, and you'll see a stain on the roof, and you won't know where that came from. So, and that may cause a lot of issues there.
Well, and you do those moisture tests too, or like for mold testing and things, right?
Yeah.
Because so many people get sick in their home.
Yeah,
right?
We actually did a mold test today where the wife was sick, the kid was sick, and even the dog was sick.
Damn dog.
I know. I was like, damn, the dog is sick.
Okay.
But I guess the dog was starting to have like some type of, his paws were itching and skin was getting rashes. So we ended up doing some air samples in the bathrooms, and then we ended up doing a swab on an area that looked like it may have some growth there. So we'll send those out to the lab, and it'll come back and it'll let us know if there's any type of organic growth, any type of mold or anything going on in that house.
So back to moisture.
Yeah, exactly,
right?
Which is huge. And it's in this particular house, it's hard to tell exactly where that moisture is coming from. We're thinking it's coming from the backyard. I think there is like a negative slope where moisture may be making its way underneath the house. There is some wood flooring that has cupping, which is where the wood floor is flat and it starts to kind of roll up on itself. So that's indicative of moisture. So it could be coming from the foundation from the bottom up. So those things are important to make sure that you're diverting water away and keeping moisture out of the house, out of that footprint of the house.
Okay, so that's number 1.
Yep.
Number 2.
Number 2 is going to be just the overall structure of the house itself, right? Is there foundation issues? Is there structural roof issues? Was there an addition where a wall was removed and wasn't properly supported? So now you have an improperly supported second story. So those we run across. Sometimes you'll see it in the walls where there's vertical cracks. You'll see it around the doors where there's diagonal cracks and doors don't close. Sometimes it's the neighbor, sometimes the neighbor is like, oh, did you see the cracked foundation? And you're like, what? So and I've had that happen where I was like, there's a cracked foundation. So now I'm looking.
Well, we had one.
That's the one.
I'm like, wait. I'm telling you, what a crazy.
Yeah. And
we had a crazy story with this, like, just to share. It was a military, couple, remember? And first time home buyer, excited about the house, couldn't wait to have the house. Curtis walks in and was like, there's foundation problems. Remember, he couldn't close the doors. Like, the doors were kind of funky. He gets a ball out, lets it roll. And what's crazy is the VA appraiser, signed off on it, and it was fine, which they're typically a lot tougher. So could you imagine if Curtis hadn't found that?
Right.
We pulled out, the foundation expert. And then after that, even my buyers are like, but we love the house. I'm like, no, let's find you another house. And remember, even the agent was like, oh no, everything is fine. And we're like, no, we're going to pull that carpet if you don't. And the whole entire house was screwed.
Yeah. I even had another one too where you couldn't tell anything was going on in the house, but the seller had went in, saw cut where the crack was, filled it in themselves with some type of epoxy or concrete, put the flooring back down, and never made a mention of it. I could feel some unevenness as I was doing the inspection. So I called it out as like the flooring is uneven. I couldn't see anything in the walls, but you can kind of feel it in the floor. And sure enough, there was actually some structural damage to the property. And
Seller didn't disclose.
they didn't disclose it.
So you have a seller disclosure, which I'll go over all of that as far as when you're a buyer. Sellers have to disclose everything they do or they know about the property, and you gotta read those. Don't sign just off on those. Go through with your agent what all those mean. And if you have a question, like stop and don't sign it and make sure that we investigate.
Yeah, for sure.
This is not something you're gonna take back to Nordstrom's tomorrow. Like you're going to have a $1 million, $2 million home on your hands.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was an older home, and good thing they ended up getting it all resolved.
Yeah.
But it's something crazy to find out after the fact.
Man, big lawsuit on the seller's hand on that. Could you imagine?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so number 3.
Number 3 is going to be the appliances overall. Not all the appliances, but definitely the furnace and the water heater. You really want to check the age of those. Because they are sending gas, it's a gas burning appliance, you want to make sure that it's venting properly, it's not producing any type of carbon monoxide back into the property, and that it's terminating properly, that it's not terminating next to a window to where when you're sleeping, those exhaust gases are going.
And we have one of these right now in escrow. And we have
That is right.
I'm like, wait, why is the exhaust right outside the window?
Right outside the window, yeah. It was
so
a
we're
water
negotiating
heater,
that right now in the repair request because I'm like, she's like, I'm just gonna inhale all this shit.
Yeah. So every furnace exhaust needs to terminate above the roof or away from a window for sure. It can't be within 3 feet of a window opening, especially a bedroom window. Yeah. So you'll end up taking a long nap. So, so that's always really important because appliances aren't, like a furnace, a whole furnace setup isn't very cheap. And then the last thing I guess would just be, not really that big of a deal, but I would say rodent activity in the attic space. You really want to be careful that they don't get into your ducting, and now you're circulating a lot of those, all the diseases and stuff that they carry. Yeah. A lot of times there will be HVAC units underneath the house, and rodents will get in there and they'll live inside the ducting. And as soon as you turn it on, you can smell it, and then you start getting a really funny feeling. But people really get sick from that, So there's a lot of times where, I walk into houses, I turn them on, and I instantly turn them off just because I could tell there's something in there. You could smell it, And they've been living there for years like that,
Just terrible. The stuff that we see and like smell. We just went into a house yesterday to show, or Sunday, and man, it stunk like urine. The whole entire house smelled like urine. Like it was just this like god awful smell. But you have to really be careful about that because I mean those are now rodents and they're gross and they're,
they carry a lot of bacteria.
Yeah. And I know that my termite guy like has the company where they come in and they will like take everything out of your attic and clean. It hasn't happened very often, but you definitely want to make sure of that. That's
for sure.
Yeah. Hence why I just did that too.
Yeah.
But I think that's important.
That's really.
Do we have number 5 or what do you think?
Number 5.
Last one.
Last thing.
Most important.
The most important is going to be sewer scope.
Okay.
That's going to be really important, especially if you're buying an older home. That's over 10 to 15, even 20 years old. You don't know what's going on in that sewer line. So you really want to put a camera in there and see what's going on in there. For sure, guaranteed, you're going to have some grease buildup in the kitchen.
Okay.
That's super common. It happens all the time. As that drain is making its way to the street, has any of those trees that you planted made their way into that drain line? Has any of the contractors' big trucks caused that drain line to like kind of sag? Because even if it's a plastic line, it may sag, and when it sags, it like breaks at the bottom. So that's another point for root intrusion.
Would it be good? Well, no, I'm going to get on the sewer like bandwagon. So the scoping, I mean, Where do you go in with that scope?
So we go in from the furthest point in the rear at the main sewer lateral, which is the big 4-inch drain. So we go in from the very rear and we go all the way to the street.
Okay, so you don't touch the plumbing and like the bathrooms and the kitchen?
No, so we
It's
don't
just the
inspect, correct, just the main, just the 4-inch. So we don't touch any of the secondary or branch drains, they will call it, which is like from your sink or from your tub or laundry, any of those smaller drains. The camera is just too big to get through those 2-inch drain lines. We do the 4-inch, which is the most costly.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, is it a good idea for people who just like myself, who live in this house, been here for a long time, would it be a good idea to get a sewer scope if you're not having any problems?
If you're not having any problems, it's always good to have a sewer scope just to know what's going on. I wouldn't have it jetted, like I mentioned, the grease that's in the drain line. I wouldn't have it jetted. That's where they come through with a high-powered pressure washer and just pressure wash your entire drain. If your pipes are delicate to begin with and it's an older house with cast iron, it may cause damage and damage those pipes.
Okay.
So if you're not having any problems with the cast iron drain at this point, just leave it for now.
And I do
just have it scoped. Don't have it jetted.
Okay, so get it scoped. Because when you really think about it, we live in neighborhoods that are old, so the mature trees,
right?
Yeah, they do come into all that plumbing, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and at that point, if the cast iron drains are really brittle, they can reline your drains to fix it. They can dig it up if that's better. They can add in better clean outs or access points.
Okay.
You know? So it's always good to at least put a camera in there and see what's going on, and then explore what the different options are from there.
Okay. And it's good that you do all of that, so you don't have to call another like scope out. I know when I have buyers, I call all the specialists out, so it's kind of nice to have Curtis be able to do the scope, which is the plumbing side, and the general inspection, which is nice, right? Can you do termites and can you do everything? No, I'm just joking.
I can tell you if there is some termites.
We got them all. Awesome, you guys. Okay, so those are the top 5, right, that are the most important in home inspections. So if you guys have any questions, where can we find you? You
can reach out to me at @WestIvy_home inspections on Instagram, or you can just visit the website at westivyhomeinspections.com.
But Instagram's much more like comical.
Yeah, exactly.
There, right?
Yeah, I got a lot more funny stuff on there.
Yeah, we have some good stuff on there. All right, you guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Love that you're on my channel. Please subscribe. What's great for me too is I have a new selling guide, and it's going to help you navigate selling here in San Diego and helps me know who you are. So download that guide here on YouTube. I would love to help you.